Speaking of, let's do it. It's time. I'm very excited. It's been 2 years, 2.5 years, or whatever it's been, since we've chatted with this man. And yes, we did chat with him, Alex Michael, conspiracy music guru, back in 2022.
There he is. With a little kitty.
No better way to enter a stream than petting a kitty. This is wonderful.
Welcome, sir.
Hello, Alex.
Hello,
So good
Mr.
to see you.
Hello, Mr. Bond.
I love it. It's wonderful. What is the cat's name? We love the kitty.
This is Arnold. Arnie. This is Arnold. Yeah.
Hello, Arnie.
Don't go in there. There's a bomb in there. Don't go in there. There's a bomb in there. Arnold.
Excellent.
Well,
How's it going?
It's good to see both
Chris,
of you.
Man, you got some pipes, man. I'm loving the Irish.
Thank you.
Style. You got some Irish blood in you, man.
Yeah. So I grew up in Newfoundland. My family was all from the Maritimes and came from Ireland. But yeah, that's I grew up playing Irish music. Started when I was about 9 with my dad playing in the pubs in Newfoundland, and got to travel all around the Maritimes doing the festival scene and all that stuff. And so then, kind of as I became an adult, I just kind of kept going with it because I seemed to work. So
yeah, it's a lovely sound. I love Irish music. It's got a kind of rawness to it, a very working class sound of kind of like broken lives, which is kind of not dissimilar to what I'm singing and screaming about now with the guitar. It's like
exactly.
It's like hardship, isn't it? It's the working class music. I love it, man. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
I was loving it over here, man.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're East Coast Canada, and there's a very much the Irish culture is permeating through here. It's a big part of Canada, obviously.
I didn't know that. I had no idea there was an Irish community there in Canada.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's huge. It started in New Brunswick, like St. John, New Brunswick. There was back when the potato famine was going on. There were thousands of people from Ireland came over here, looking for that new hope, and so we're the products of them now, I guess.
Well, talking of New Hope, congratulations on Trudeau, taking a stage left. You know how I feel about it. Trudeau takes a stage left. The other puppet will come stage right. It's no different to Biden going stage left. Trump coming stage right, and the puppet show continues. It's just absolutely, and like you said, I resonated with what you said. Like no accountability, no justice, nothing. And then the show continues. It's now at the point now. It's now so laughable to me. It used to stress me the hell out, but now I see the show for what it is. It's just it's great fodder for songs, but I just see it for what it is. It's so laughable now. It's just. We shouldn't really be paying attention. I understand why we do pay attention to it because the clown show is hilarious. But if we're seeing, this is what these people are presented to us, aren't they? So if we're seeing them, it's part of the show. We're not looking, above them. When you start talking about black nobility and black pope or grey pope or whatever, or the Orsinis, and this is orders of magnitude, above these people. What we're seeing is just the clown show, so I find it so laughable. But the show continues, I guess.
You're right, though. The fact that we give it any attention at all, we're doing ourselves a disservice. But you're right. We have to. How else do we engage? We have to use the platform, I guess, to engage with these people and have the conversations that need to happen. Exactly like the black hats, the bigger people that this is theater. And if we don't engage with them in their theater, how do we possibly get them out of the theater? It's just and maybe we don't need to save them. Maybe we just have to give up on some people. Maybe that's what it is.
One of the themes that we see in the scriptures is the idea of being in the world, but not of the world. And so it's very important to know what's going on around you. And that's kind of the only reason why I really engage right now is because I need to know what are they going to come and arrest me for next week?
Right. So you have to be aware of it, but it is like a parasite. It's like a mind parasite in a way. It's like this octopus that's on you, and you just can't seem to shed it off. But it's like a fascinating octopus. You're like, what are you going to do? You have to be aware of your enemy, because these are the people that are trying to, we're not on YouTube. They're genocide. Let's use the real words: genocide, genocide, whatever. So you have to be aware of your enemy, and I like to keep my ear to the ground and what are these bastards up to now? So it's fascinating but it
Yep.
is a mind virus. But by giving it our attention, we are kind of, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to be a meditating monk on the foothills of the Himalayas, just completely free of this nonsense. I kind
Yeah.
of like it in a way. It's kind of it's such a double-edged sword. You're like, what's going on in clown world?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be giving it your attention, because if you
Yeah.
do, clown world continues. So it's like,
Exactly.
It does.
We're
What's going
almost
on
enemies.
in clown world? Oh shit, that's what's going on in clown
yeah,
world.
it never changes. It's just going to be another day in clown world. God knows what 2025 is going to bring, but I guarantee
Oh,
more
man.
of the same, but amplified. It will just be amplified and amplified and amplified until people realize that it is a clown show. I don't know. It's fascinating to me, but thankfully I'm slowly but surely learning to laugh at it now. It used to stress me the hell out, but I'm now approaching it with a bit more of a sense of humor, thank God.
Yeah,
It's
that was something that Harris and
very
I
important.
talked about this summer. Like we both kind of took a break from the world. Like I have a little farm here with some animals and a big garden and stuff, and I just kind of unplugged from the junk, and just focused on like growing the farm and making sure the animals are good, making sure the food is good, and so it was really nice just to kind of pull away and just get away from it all. But like I said, then you kind of become like, I don't know what's going on. Are they going to come and arrest me today? And so the paranoia gets to kick back in and stuff. So it's good to take breaks from the clown show for sure, so that it doesn't totally like black pill you and make you want to hate everything.
Yeah, it does do that to you, does it? It does push you into a kind of self-sufficient mindset, and I did that for a couple of years and started, because to me self-sufficiency is a bit of a psyop, because I don't think you can, because it's just me and my wife here, and we did the whole self-sufficiency thing here. We just completely converted the garden, had totes and irrigation, and we were learning all of that. We fell into that, what I believe now is a trap, because I don't think you can be completely self-sufficient with just me and my wife. You can't. The work that's, unless you commit your every working day to it, to growing food, and even then you won't be self-sufficient. You need community. You need a bunch of people around you to, like, so number 27, he's growing the tomatoes. Number 25 is growing the potatoes. He's doing the wine. He's doing the grapes. He's doing the butter. You can't do it all on your own. And I got to the point where I realized, where I looked out my window and I thought, well, actually, we do live in a world of abundance. I can walk down my road and there's orange trees and lemon trees and olive groves, and I'm like, why am I in this self-sufficiency? Because I kind of think the self-sufficiency thing is a little bit of a psyop, and it's very wise to do that. But unless you've got a big community of like-minded people, which is very, very tough to find like-minded people that want to just give up and try and do that, like, almost like the Amish. I have much respect for the Amish for doing that. They're a lot more advanced than we are. So it's very, very difficult to be self-sufficient with two people. So I've kind of laid back on that at the moment. When you finally realize that, and I hate to sound corny here, but God provides, right? There is a world of abundance out there, really. And then if the shit really hits the fan, then community. That's when you'll see community come together, if the shit really does hit the fan. But at the moment, I've lost my fear of that, and I've not gone into stealth mode. I've kind of snapped out of that a little bit.
That's important, actually. Yeah, we talk about the need for community constantly, and we were saying, as a black sheep, sometimes you do go into self mode because you really can't find your friends, but your friends are out there, and there are lots of people that want to live that lifestyle. But yes, you're right. Two people doing it, self-sufficiency. I like how you put that, self-sufficiency, when really it's not about that. Yes, you as an individual need the skills and be able to participate in the community, but you absolutely need to have friends. That's just that's number one. But Alex, we're talking all about Canada and all the world there. I'm very curious about Spain, actually. You are calling us from Spain. Are you going through similar things as the rest of us in the world with, like, immigration issues? Or how is life in Spain right now, culturally speaking?
Well, when I first came to Spain, I had all the intentions of integrating into Spanish society and understanding how the political system works and yada, yada, yada. Started to learn the language and had full intention of really integrating. But the more I tried to integrate, the more I realized that the society was not something I wanted to integrate into. It's like so I stopped. It's just people drive me bloody crazy. They absolutely drive me mad. So it was like, so now I wouldn't say I've become more of a recluse, but I have a little, a handful of friends, 5 or 6 that are very awake and aware, and it's taken me 10 years to get those six friends who are awake and aware. So it's been quite tough. So it's quite lonely when I first came here to Spain. But to integrate and to understand the whole, it's the same everywhere. You can't, if you just look at any political structure, it's just the same shit with a different language. It's the same crap. It's the same tyranny. It's the same censorship. It's the same rules, the same regulations, the same control. So to ask me, like, what's going on in Spain? Well, the same shit as what's going on with you. It's exactly the same. You can't escape it. You have to kind of learn how to mentally deal with it. And I express myself through music, as you know. That's the way. That's my therapy. That's how I deal with it. I can't change it. I'm trying to change the world in my own little musical way. But I can't change this. I like I said before, I'm at the position there where I'm laughing about it and singing about it, and I hope to do more comedic stuff in the future, because I think that's the stuff that resonates with people. Just taking a look and not taking it too seriously. Don't take it too seriously, because that's what they want. They want your fear. They want your attention. And if you're giving it your attention, and if you're giving it your fear, then you're falling into that trap, aren't you? I think.
I watched your C word video last night, actually.
I'm sorry, but it had to be. This is the thing, right? This is the thing, because I've now got to the point. That video you mentioned is a very good indication of me not giving a shit anymore. Like, because I'm sick of people saying you shouldn't say this and you shouldn't say that. Please, in my mind, there are no good or bad words. There's good or bad intent. Right. So you can take the most negative word in the world, like hate, and use it in a positive context. I could never hate you. You can use that in a positive context. Okay. So I don't believe now there are good words and bad words. You can take a word and still use it, in a joking way. And that video was me just really, because a lot of people have said to me, why don't you just be yourself? Stop hiding behind characters and just say what you want. And that song came out from a bit of a drunken session, if I'm honest. And we were falling about laughing, and we thought, this is too good. We've got to put it. And I was very, very nervous about putting it out on the internet because it contains so many swear words.
Yep.
I'm just like, if you're offended, then I'm sorry. Like, whatever happened to sticks and stones can break your bones, but words will never hurt me. They're just words. I'm so sick of offense. I'm so sick of people being offended by comedy. Look at all the comedians now. They're being censored, and you can't look at the comedians we had like 20, 30 years ago who could say what they want. And it was, it should be a level playing field. I should be able to, make fun of you. You should be able to make fun of me. Equal level playing field, right? But this whole idea of offense, I'm offended. Well, I have no time for that anymore. I should be authentically me and say the C word sometimes, and the F word. It's okay, people. Don't have an aneurysm. It's okay. They're just words.
I love that, actually. Yes, be you. We love you, Alex. That's exactly what we want. We love you and your music, and the more of you bring us, the more it will resonate. You use that word resonate all the time, and I'm certain that it will resonate more truly if you are true to yourself. That's just.
Well, I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to do, different genres. I'm doing reggae and rap and heavy metal and folk and blues and country and blah, blah, blah. And okay, that I might throw in a little a song that has some swear words in it for the more working class that find that word hilarious. And I'm working class. I grew up in the pubs and the clubs, and I find that word not offensive. It's probably the most offensive word in the UK. But because of that, I find it hilarious. That's why I use 64 times in that video. Let's sort the men out from the boys, right? Let's see who are the snowflakes. I'm offended. Oh, seriously, fuck off. I'm sorry for my language, but I make no apologies.
No, we love real people. That's what we're trying to inspire. Really,
I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to be more authentic and showing people a different side. My real self, I grew up in the pubs and the clubs and surrounded by just the working class that use that word regularly. And, sometimes when you use it in the right context, it can be hilarious. I mean, if you look at all the comments on that video, everyone is like, this was. There were one or two that I had to ban because they were going, "How dare you? You're going to hell." I'm like, great. If you are offended, I don't need you. So you're gone. It's just like that word offense is actually offensive to me.
Yeah.
Well
and
said.
it's funny because over the last number of years, like for whatever reason, we've allowed those comments, the negative ones that are like you're offending people, but those for whatever reason have come to the forefront, and that's why we're now living in this world where not only is censorship a huge issue, as we're seeing bills all around the Western world, especially being passed to bring in more and more hate speech laws and all these sorts of things, but then in an additional kind of attempt to combat that, we're censoring ourselves as well. And so because I piles of different podcasts and stuff that I watch where they're talking about some very serious topics, but they'll be like, say they're talking about the idea of rape, for example. They'll be like R word, and I'm like, come on, like just say that, like you're having a serious discussion here, and you're censoring yourself in that discussion because you're afraid they might censor you. However, we do know that we see, especially with YouTube, I got banned from there years ago. We did actually when we first started doing our show, and I understand that you've had some recent issues as well. And it's just this this frustration where like the censorship is a problem, but we also self-censor ourselves to try and prevent the problem, like from getting censored. And so it's bizarre. It's a weird cycle that just kind of keeps
it's
going.
a catch-22. It's almost like if you want to remain on YouTube, try getting people away from YouTube. It's like pulling teeth. It's absolutely.
We're aware.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Likewise, right. So I kind of, in a way, I kind of like the idea. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I put out a video saying, I'm leaving YouTube. I'm done. I'm not going to be in this toxic relationship anymore, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized, like, no one wants to leave YouTube. So I kind of like the idea of using a different language. Like, instead of people saying, vaccines, would say like jibby jab or something else. Like, using code words. This is how Cockney rhyming slang came about in London. They were using rhyming slang so that they could, stay out of earshot from the police. They were using a different language, and this is how like apple and stairs came about, which is stairs, or now like a modernized version would be, do you want to get some Britney Spears, which is beers, or there's so many different rhyming styles, but that comes apparently from keeping out of earshot of the local authorities. So in a way, I kind of like, right, well, let's just use a different language if we want it, because people getting people on YouTube, impossible. All right, maybe we should stay on YouTube and use a different language, but it's a catch-22 because I'm using these platforms that I utterly despise.
Yeah.
So it's so tough, man.
Yeah. We're the same way. Like we were six episodes in, they cut our this was right away, they cut our channel. And for us, we did take the mentality that we don't want to support a channel that doesn't support us, or a platform that doesn't support us. And we don't want to give them any of our revenue. They take like 40% or what, not that we make money or whatever, but any ad revenue, they're benefiting from it, and we're only helping them grow. So we just said, no, F YouTube, we're not doing it. And we think about it a lot, though. Like, you're right, there is an audience there. A lot of people just refuse to do it, and maybe we're doing ourselves a disservice of spreading our message by not attempting to be there. I don't know, but it's tough. It really is. But you've really recently been censored fully. Like, you've had stuff just a couple months ago, really? Some of your videos, am I right? Yeah?
Yeah, I woke up one morning and these videos that they removed were unlisted videos. So they go through your unlisted stuff. And if and I just used the word convid. That's the only, that's the word because now what they do now is when they send you a notification, say, we don't agree, this goes against medical information. They actually give you a timestamp now. So you're able to go
and
see. Helpful. And it's helpful. Yeah. Which word pissed you off? Then, so they will give you a timestamp, and then they gave me the timestamp. And I watched it back. It's like, because I used the word convid. It's like,
that's weird. That's a weird one to pick up. It's not even a real word, It's like,
I know. So they I mean, there's no human element to it. It's all AI. I mean, it's been programmed to recognize these kind of phrases. So when I woke up and I was like, oh God, this is because over the last 8 years or so, I've amassed 140,000 followers on Facebook and YouTube combined. I'm now virtually invisible to all of them. So it just like I kind of got so pissed off. I was like, I never know if I'm going to wake up in the morning and my channel's gone, you know. And I've said before, it's like a toxic relationship. Imagine being in a relationship and your wife says to you, "You can't say that, and if you say that again, I'm going to take away your car." Like they say, we're going to take away your channel. If you was in an actual relationship like that, you would want a divorce, wouldn't you? You're like, stop censoring me. So it's like, so I made a video like, I'm done with YouTube. I'm not going to be in this toxic relationship anymore. And I still kind of stand by that. I'm still going to use YouTube to give people, I'm going to give them previews and show them, you know, this is my new video, but you can watch it over here. I want to guide people elsewhere. So I'll probably use it as just like a bumper, if you like. You know, here's
Clips channel.
So I don't think I'm going to come off YouTube completely, but I'm just going to use it as a tool to get people elsewhere. But it's just incredibly frustrating.
Are there any platforms that you do like right now, Alex?
No. There's no. I thought Twitter was going to be the thing, and I joined Twitter maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and just left it stagnant. I had like 1,000 followers, and everyone's going, "You should use Twitter. It's changed. It's censorship free, and blah 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 blah." I thought, great. Okay, so I posted. I had like 1,500 followers. I posted a video on there, and it got 20,000 views. I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." Posted another video, 18,000 views. I was like, "This is really cool." Posted another video, 15,000. Posted another video, 10,000 views. Posted another video, 7, and you could see it. Oh, here we go again, man. This is like, so this censorship-free platform bullshit.
No. It's to be expected. You know, it's the same thing as the leaders. You take one evil person out and replace it with another evil person to continue the evil plans. That's just what's always going to happen, and it shapes our mind. But there's not a whole.
It's one of the most frustrating things I've ever encountered, because I know that the music that I have can change lives. I've seen that in many messages that I've had sent to me, particularly the healing music as well. I've got this thing that can really, you know, change someone's life and heal them, and you know, get them critically thinking about what they're being told. It's a beautiful product that I have. And the most frustrating thing that I have is that it doesn't get seen. Nobody sees what I'm doing. So it's probably one of the most frustrating things I've ever encountered in my life. What do you do unless you have a marketing budget or which I don't have? So you have to use these platforms, but you're just getting continually kicked in the balls every time you upload a video. And I'm really a bit frustrated and don't really know what to do next, really.
Keep putting it everywhere. That's my suggestion. That's things that I learned from like Corbett and Dan Dix back in the day. You got to just put your stuff wherever, how much energy you have, put it wherever you can. And if you can identify ones that are helpful for free speech, beautiful. But just get it out there, and that's really the best situation. And then you have the best opportunity to be seen, I think. And it's very difficult. It's too bad that we couldn't hone in on a home that can be seen by everybody, but that's not the landscape we live in. We have to go through this hurdles and hoops. And my suggestion is just get it wherever you can, and people will find it however they find it. You know, that's the best way to do it, really.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we streamed to multiple places. I mean, back, you know, when kind of streaming first started, like people streamed to a place. They streamed to Facebook or they streamed to YouTube. But nowadays, especially people kind of more, you know, in what we'll say the far right, as they deem us, like they're streaming everywhere. Like there are guys who are streaming like just this one stream and it's going out to like 10 different places, simply because they don't know, is Rumble going to drop it today? Is whoever, like, you know, list whomever it might be. And so in an attempt to prevent the censorship, that's why we put it so far out there. And even if there's, you know, like we put it to Odyssey every week, but you know, we might get one viewer there. We get lots of replays there, but like, you still put it out there just because the more options out there, it seems to be the most beneficial anyway.
Yeah, you got to have your fingers in lots of pies in case, you know, something goes down. But isn't it a shame that you have to live like that? I mean, my God.
It's so frustrating, and it's a lot of extra work.
Yeah, so much extra work. It
I mean,
takes
I'm one dude, right? And I'm doing the music and I'm doing all the instrumentation and I'm mixing and mastering and producing and doing the video editing. I'm doing the distribution and the album cover and the marketing and blah 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 blah. Blah.
Yeah.
And then you've got to add like social media marketing onto that. How the hell could one dude do all of that? It's daunting, and particularly when you're getting kicked in the balls all the time.
Yeah.
And we don't want that on our platform. Fuck, we don't want that. It's like. It's enough to make you give up. It's enough to, and I've thought about it so many times, but I'm so motivated by the message and the truth. I won't give up. I want to be a pain in the ass to the system, but they're doing a very good job of pissing me off right now.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's why
I remember.
our friends. Sorry, Chris. Our friends are so important, and our community, because they're the ones that's sharing it off. They're helping get it out there. That's why we're so appreciative of the likes and the comments and anything that people can do to just help us get past these algorithms and these this need to go everywhere. It really is shit that we have to spend so much time to just get it seen when it should be way easier. And the more truth you speak, the harder it will be, of course.
And sadly, there's going to be an AI part of this, because AI, the algorithm, they're learning. The AI frightens the hell out of me because it's going to be there's no human element right now. But you just wait a year down the road, you won't be able to. It frightens the hell out of me as to where this so-called movement is going to be in terms of like censorship, because it's just going to be the machine telling you. Just bringing your videos down and striking you and just losing your channel. So I don't know what the answer is. I wish I knew. I wish there was a platform where Rumble seems to be pretty good at the moment. But me, my Rumble channel is like a graveyard. It's just constantly fighting the beast. It's trying to get people to see what you're doing. It's tough out there. What can I say?
Well, we hope we'll be sharing all your links, and we hope all our friends certainly get out and follow your Rumbles, follow you on the free speech platforms for as long as they are, and that's the best. The best weapon we have are all the friends that we have in our community, and the more that we help each other share our content and share the stuff and shine light where we need to shine it, the better it is for all of us to get this message out, because that's all we're really trying to do. We're trying to live our lives and have successful lives ourselves, but we have a deep belief in a better world, or how shitty this world is, and something to say. And we're just trying to have an ability to do that. That's what we want to do. And it's just so very difficult, for sure. But our friends certainly help along the way. That's absolutely.
It's soul destroying, isn't it? Because like you say, we have a message, and we know that this message can, help. We're humanitarians in a way. I'm a musical humanitarian. We're just trying to help people, and to be constantly censored and that it's like that tyrannical boot on your head, just like pushing you down. It's like, it's so frustrating. The amount of times I've just wanted to walk away from it, but I can't. But I don't know what the answer is yet. I'm just in real frustration mode at the moment. But
keep on keeping on, Alex. That's what we got to do.
You got it. Yeah, you got it.
We got to just got to keep on keeping on, no matter what. And what products come of that will be rewarding, I think. Alex, we're talking about Black Sheep tonight. That wonderful song that you put out, I think is probably a personal song for you, for sure. But
you noticed that, did you? You noticed that,
but
every song is personal to me. It's my awakening in musical form. So I'm glad you like that. I mean, not a lot of people like that song because it's rock, and a lot of people don't resonate with that heavy guitar sound and that. But if you look at the lyrical content is it's a very personal message. So obviously you picked up on that. Yeah,
I feel it. Obviously, maybe it resonated with me in a bigger way too. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But you're obviously a black sheep, Alex, and not only a black sheep in the world. You focus on topics, or you have talked about things that would be considered black sheep even in the conspiracy world, like flat earth things or things things like that, which I find it's valuable that we all share what we want to share, and we need to do that. And do you get a hard time for some of that flat earth stuff, or is it
no, not really? I thought I would, but it's because it was quite a genius move, actually. When I first started making the flat earth content, I hid behind a character. I hid behind the flat earth man. I put like a hat on, and I put on a voice because I didn't want to put myself out there and start singing about, singing serious songs about how the globe is a deception. I thought if I hide behind a character and just put a comedic spin on it, then the people that have eyes to see what I'm actually singing about will remove that comedic layer and see the paradigm shattering information that lies within those lyrics. So it's kind of a genius move, really. I didn't know what I was doing, but so I've not because without those that have the eyes to see, they'll go, "This is brilliant." Or for those that don't, they'll just go, "Oh, he's just comedy. It's just satire. Like he can't possibly believe that, right?" So I've been relatively unscathed. Obviously, you get the trolls, and I get some emails from time to time, but 95% of the time, people are egging me on, or they just don't see it. They just think I'm just having a laugh. But of course,
silly, yeah.
My music is a lot deeper than appears.
Definitely.
Have you found people to be, and I guess like you would see it more like in comments and things like that. Have you found people to be more accepting today of things like that than they were, say, even 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely an awakening. There's definitely a conscious, right, whatever you want to call it. I see it in my. I don't really, I don't speak to my family anymore because I'm the black sheep. There's no chance of any reconciliation with those guys. But my wife's mother and father, my in-laws, they come and visit me 2 or 3 times a year now, and they come and stay for a good 2 or 3 weeks. So they have to be with me.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks. So they have no option but to. And I'm of course, dropping those little, seeing if those seeds germinate. And I thought for the longest time, I thought there's no way they're going to get it because they're like in their 70s, 80s. I thought they're not going to get it. There's too much water under the bridge. They've been subject to too much propaganda. There's no way I could change their mind possibly. But over time, I think I've got it. I think I've got my father-in-law. Definitely, he's starting to see the big pharma conspiracy. He's starting to see that. So I think it's really never too late. So if I can get to him, I think
never lose the hope.
I used to think like boomers were just like a lost cause, but I've changed my mind a little bit because I've got. But at the end of the day, like I say, he has to visit me for 3 weeks or 6 weeks a year. So he's going to get it in the ear, like so. So I do see it. I do see it. My only frustration is it's just not happening fast enough for my liking. But I'm very impatient. I want to see a mass revelation.
Yes.
I want to see people. I want people to understand what we understand, and they can see it, and they can stop, acquiescing and stop, getting involved in this and seeing it for the clown world that we see it. But I'm always showing them see. So I do see. I do see consciousness rising and people waking up. It's just too bloody slow for my liking.
Yeah. It's actually, overall, the conspiracy world is definitely becoming more and more aware. People are accepting a lot of the aspects, either the pharma stuff or whatever it is. People enter the web. They're starting more and more people are entering that web. That's for certain. But the flat Earth thing is still interesting. That is the conversation.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one for people to get their head around. I find it incredibly fascinating. When I first came across the subject, it was mind-blowing to me that lies of that scale could exist in the world. So for me, it gave me a huge creative burst and put it into music. And I put it out there and go, this is what I'm presenting. It's up to you whether you make your own mind. I'm not forcing my opinions, but I'm just saying, here's why don't you go and look at this kind of stuff? But again, it's a step too far for a lot of people, and I understand that. So you have to use kid gloves, and you have to go very slowly. I didn't get into this information overnight. It took me a good 6 months to look at NASA, look at the occult origins of such an organization. And so it's a big step, and I'm not banging everyone over the head with flat Earth. I'm just saying,
no,
information. Take it as you will.
To think about. Yeah, it's one of those things I've never thought about it. I mean, I was a pastor for 20 years before the lockdowns all started, and it just wasn't really a topic. It wasn't something that I cared about, I guess. Like I never like made fun of people who believed in it, but it just like I was kind of like whatever. And I remember during shortly after the lockdowns, meeting with a pastor friend of mine, and along the same wavelength as us, thinks a lot of the same stuff, and we got into that discussion. And I just put it out to him. I said, if push came to shove and somebody said you had to choose, what would you believe, sphere or flat Earth? And he said flat Earth. And I was like, okay, I guess we need to start doing more research on this. And that's, like the Apocrypha is something that I started reading and kind of getting some interesting things like in the Book of Enoch about that kind of talk about firmaments and all this sort of stuff. And it's still those topics like,
there's so much in the Bible. I mean, someone put forward that there's 200 verses in the Bible that talk about a stationary, immovable, non-rotating, flat. I mean, I don't know if there's 200 verses, but it seems right there in Genesis talks about the firmament, and I don't know. I don't think that can be ignored, really. I mean, there's a lot there. I find it absolutely fascinating. I think everybody should look into it. But bring food and water. It's not something you're going to get overnight. You have to really immerse yourself in this stuff and then make your own mind up. But if you honestly believe that you are spinning faster than the speed of sound right now, because an occult organization told you so, then you have to question that.
When you put it that way, I am definitely going to.
Now I have to believe it.
I have to look into it more.
I mean, it's founded by. It's like Scientology on steroids. That's what NASA is to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's wonderful. It's do you have anybody that you would recommend? Like, if we wanted to get a guest right now to talk about this, to help us understand it, or a book or something that you can recommend for us? Do you have anybody? Or our audience,
Absolutely. There's a guy by the name of David Weiss. He'll be happy to come on your show. Go to flatearthdave.com.
Okay.
He is perfect at explaining the 101, the very basic, because you have to start at the beginning. You have to go like, well, what about ships over the ocean? What about time zones? What about tides? What about the moon? What about eclipses? And everyone has all these questions like I had right at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just filled with all these questions. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. What about the prototype? What about satellites? What blah, 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 blah. So we all have a million questions. I had a million questions, but Dave Weiss is probably the best guy that can go through it with, and he has a green screen behind him, and he'll give you visual explanations as well. So he does the Flat Earth 101 better than anybody else that I've seen. So he would be a great guest, and he'd be happy to come on. He's very passionate about this message, and so I would definitely recommend him. And he has an app called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's such a mouthful. It's the worst name for an app ever.
That's pretty bad.
But let me say that again: the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. I know why he did it, because he wanted to put as many keywords in the title. It's keyword spamming right at the end of the day. But that app, joke aside, that app has all of the information that YouTube is hiding from you. Because if you type into Google, "Are vaccines safe and effective?" What do you think you're going to get, right? If you type into Google, solfeggio healing frequencies, it's going to give you a bunch of shit. And it's the same with Flat Earth. Like, YouTube have already stated in Congress that they're censoring this subject. That should be a huge red flag. Okay, that should be a reason to look alone. So what Dave has done is collated all the great videos that YouTube are hiding from you and collated them in this particular app. So if you have questions about what about gravity, what about satellites, what about eclipses, what about sunsets, what about blah, 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 he has a button for that. You click on sunsets, it'll give you all the videos that YouTube are hiding from you. So it's a great resource for that kind of information. But that's the guy I would recommend. You should have him on. He'd be happy to come on. And once you go down that rabbit hole, be prepared to lose all of your friends and family.
They're already gone. I met all new
already gone.
last
You got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
No, I love the conversation. I think the conversation, no matter what it is fascinating to me. And somebody who's passionate enough to be a black sheep in that way, I find is fascinating, and I would love to have that conversation. So thank you very much for that suggestion, Alex. We'll certainly see if you have it. I told you so on that one later on at some point. Maybe we will. We'll never know. But that's a
spoiler alert. Spoiler. I will be saying you'll be coming back to me in 6 months if you dedicate the time and you bring food and water and you immerse yourself in that. It took me 6 months to let go of the globe. I was like so stubborn. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way they could have done it. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Like almost rocking in my. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. But
I had that
that's
with
what
9/11.
I was like with World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
All of it. But once you get there, you will be coming back to me and you'll be going, Shit, Alex. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, probably. We'll have to have you on again next year,
Just,
and
just do me a favor though. Don't discount it. Don't discount it. It's like there's
Oh no,
no
never.
way. But
no,
just give it some time. Give it a lot of time, and you'll see why this movement is growing.
mhm.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
I love it.
For me, anytime that the mainstream is against it, it's kind of like that should be your cue to look into it. Not that I'm saying that that's your cue that it's 100% factual or whatever it might be, but that should at least be your cue to like go down that rabbit hole, do a little more research, get away from the Google, get away from the YouTube, and kind
Yeah.
of look at the more of the stuff on the bit shoots or whatever it might be, and kind of get that secondary opinion
Yeah, I
because
mean,
uh,
condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance.
exactly.
Right.
You betcha. Yeah, yeah. Another thing, Alex, that's kind of been catching on um, along with that is 432. It was the first thing that you mentioned in the comments there. Nice
Yeah.
Taylor tune to 432.
Cool.
I have noticed a lot. There you go, another nice
Beauty.
Taylor, and I'm sure it's tuned to 432.
Of course, brother. Of course.
But I've noticed a big uprising in this.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of musicians over the last few years switch over to 432. Not even necessarily like people who would be considered conspiracy theorists, just others who are kind of hearing about it and just jumping in. Are you seeing that? And why don't you kind of just kind of give a brief for those who in our audience maybe haven't heard, kind of give them just a quick synopsis. What is 432? Why are we doing it? And have you noticed too kind of a big uprise of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a vast subject. It's like trying to explain flat Earth in 5 minutes. Like, go flat Earth in 5 minutes. Go. It's not something. It's something you have to again bring food and water and research for yourself.
Yeah.
I learned my craft, if you like, from a guy by the name of Jamie Buturf. Jamie Buturff. He has a channel on YouTube and has a 432 hertz playlist. And if you look at all the videos there, they're about 15 minutes long each video. There's about 6 or 7 there. And he goes into the whole, the 432 hertz conspiracy, the solfeggio healing frequencies, and the misinformation about the solfeggio healing frequencies, and how he believes these particular frequencies are the true solfeggio healing frequencies, which is why I call my albums True Solfeggio. But I believe music is medicine. I've come to that conclusion now with these True Solfeggio albums. I did my own scientific experiment, put them out there, and people are having profound effects with this particular music. So I do believe music can be medicine, and just like the Rockefellers have bastardized the medical industry by removing naturopath and natural remedies and introducing their petrochemicals and everything else. You think of the education system as well, and everything. As soon as something has the Rockefeller name attached to it, I don't really think of rainbows and donuts.
No.
So they've bastardized the music as well. They introduced the keynote tuning frequency of A equals 440 hertz in, I think it was the late 30s and 40s, and eventually into Europe into 1955, and they financed the whole thing. Now, to cut a long story short, I mean, there's so much to it. There's so many people involved. It's a huge conspiracy. It's another huge rabbit hole. But if you were to look at cymatics, for an example, you know what cymatics is? You put salt on a resonating plate, and you pump 440 hertz through this plate, and the salt will go into sort of muddy patterns, really sort of muddy, non-coherent, they're not very geometric, But if you pump 432 frequency into that cymatic plate, you can do it with salt, you can do it with water, you can do it with oil and liquids. It will produce this perfect snowflake geometric pattern. It's gorgeous to look at, really. So if you think about what music is doing on a biological cellular level, I do believe that I've said this many times, that 440 hertz is like the fluoride of the music industry. It's like causing dis-ease. It's causing your cells, your biology to become that sort of that muddy kind of that. I don't know. There's obviously something going on a cellular level that I don't really understand. But what I can prove is when I put these frequencies into an instrumental album, people have profound, not only spiritual effects, but healing effects as well. People will say that I had arthritis, it's gone. I had this hip in my pain for 20 years, and it's gone because I listened to your music and other music would do, and I sleep better. calm, and my plants are growing more, and my pets are calm. And it's so I've got a page on my website that lists all of these testimonies and reviews about this particular music that I'm putting out. So I'm absolutely convinced that there's something to this, that they have bastardized the music, and let alone, what they're doing in the name of convenience, where they compress it into an MP3 and bastardize it even more. So they're bastardizing it and bastardizing it, So this iTunes and Spotify, where they compress the music, you're never really going to hear it in the way that the artist intended, because they have to bastardize it and compress it and rip the soul out of it and lose 90% of the information that the producer wanted you to hear. So it's being bastardized on so many levels, let alone the tuning frequency. But I'm playing about with it at the moment, and I've released a couple of albums called True Solfeggio, all instrumental with solfeggio healing frequencies, and the results are in. And I never asked for people to message me, but they did. They just started sending me messages going, "Holy crap, this works!" I'm trying to do the polar opposite music, what the controllers want, because they want to listen 440 hertz frequency in your children's ears. All the kids are walking around with their headphones on, listening to heavy metal in 440 hertz, and we wonder why they're violent and grumpy, pissed off and sick. Music can heal if it's done in the right frequency. The music we have right now, I mean, it's very, very far from that. Just look at all the rap artists that are coming out and singing about their private parts, and they're gyrating on stage. And this is what our children are watching. The predominant demographic for this kind of music is teenagers, 14, 15, 16. They're looking at, Cardi B talking about her bits and gyrating on stage, and the rap industry talking about hoes and money and drug culture and guns.
Yeah, it's gross.
What the hell is that about? What the hell is that? So music can be, it can be healing. It can be therapeutic. I think I've proved that. That's what I'm trying to do with this 432 hertz. It is such a huge rabbit hole. I encourage people to look into it. Once you find out that your music has been bastardized on such a level, you won't want to put that in your ears anymore. I'm convinced of that.
Absolutely. It's been very awakening to me. I didn't know about it until you were talking about it in our first time that we had a chat back in 2022, and I've deeply dove into a lot of conspiracy, and that's one that I never came across yet. But it does make
you're going to find, when you look into this, it's like Google. You're going to find all of these videos that debunk it and say it's this conspiracy, new age, woo woo, right? So that should be reason enough to be, to go down that rabbit hole. I mean, but
and you can tell yourself, you can feel the sound difference. You can, like you said, you can literally feel the difference. And I'm not surprised, because there's an onslaught, there's a war against all of our senses, all our everything. And as much as music can be healing, it can also be a weapon. And I think that's what Hollywood, not Hollywood, but the Oscar, that industry they know they can use weapon to their advantage and manipulate people in minds, because music is powerful. It's extremely powerful, which is why we've taken the opposite end of that spectrum and know that music is powerful and we can use it as a weapon as well, which is why we love to chat with people like you who are using the weapon effectively. That's what it's all about. And it is important that we have this 432 conversation and understand that we are being manipulated and attacked on every level, all our senses, including music. It's wonderful that you're out there.
Yeah, I think it was Rudolf Steiner that said, once humanity learns to tune its music back to 432 hertz, that we will see some kind of spiritual awakening. So, at this point in life, there's not. We've got a lot of background noise there, Chris.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
I think it was Rudolf Steiner said something like, once we tune our instruments back to 432 hertz, then you will see some kind of spiritual awakening or something like that. I mean, I thoroughly agree with that. A lot of the classical composers were tuning to 432 hertz. The music we have now is just so messy. It's not higher minded. If you go back a couple of 100 years, we're talking real higher minded intellectual music, where it took an entire orchestra all working together in unison. It's a beautiful thing. We don't have that anymore. We have 3-chord blues music, that whole sold my soul to the devil kind of went down to the crossroads. Blues music, the devil's music, rock music, the devil's music. When Elvis came on the scene and the Beatles, the parents were going, "This is the devil's music." And everyone's going, "Don't be so old fashioned." But they were bloody right.
They didn't even know it.
We didn't even, they were totally bastardizing the music by giving us the 3-chord Beatles or Elvis with 3 chords and shaking his hips. That music was so much more than that. It was so much more intellectual and higher minded. We've come so far from that, and I see it. I see it.
Oh, it's such a shame, Alex. It
really is. It really
it's
is.
wonderful that there are people like you that recognize it, though, and you're putting your music out that way, but also inspiring others by having this conversation and putting the music out that way. What do you have coming? You have some new projects that you're working on. I saw that you're working on.
Always.
We have some.
Always.
You have a friend that you were working with recently, and you have a new album, and you're looking for a new band name. Is that? Did I see that last night on old Twitbox? Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I mean, I'm never going to keep my mouth. I'm always going to be doing this. I'm always going to be doing music, you know, something with a message. I can't keep my mouth shut. And again, like I said before, it's therapy for me. When I learn stuff, I want to get in, you know, I don't need a therapist. I need a microphone and a guitar. That's a beautiful thing. And I met Steve. Yeah, it really is. It's so therapeutic, and you know, it's. I don't need any medication. I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling this way, so therefore I'm going to make this kind of music. But I don't know if you're aware of Steve from Space Busters. He's a wealth of knowledge. You should have that guy on. He's brilliant. He's so
Steve.
He's Steve from Space Busters. Go look up his stuff. He's completely demolished virology. He made a bunch of about 2 or 3 documentaries called The End of Virology, and he's been working with, you know, the likes of Tom Cowan and Andrew Kaufman, you know, these sort of freedom doctors, I call them. And he's completely obliterated virology, the scam that is, you know, viruses. And also, you know, on many other subjects he talks of as well about, you know, dare I say it, the flat Earth and cosmology and all of these. I found him fascinating, and what I really liked about Steve was that he had a real way of just laughing at the world, and he would talk about genocide and then laugh afterwards. He would like, yeah, they're killing it. He's got this gruff, he's got this lived-in voice because he's a gig musician. He does all the Irish bars actually in Denmark. He lives in Denmark. He plays all these Irish bars, and he's just got this real gruff voice. But he's such a researcher and such a wealth of knowledge. But he will look at it from such a clown world perspective and laugh at it. And I kind of like that. And when I heard him on a podcast, I went, "You've got such a great attitude towards this, you know, because they want your fear, don't they? They want, so he won't give it to them. Just enjoying himself, researching and putting that information out." And I messaged him. I said, "Dude, I would love to have a beer with you, man. You're cool." And he said, "Oh man, I love your stuff as well." And he before you knew it, he was in Spain with me recording our first song. Awesome. We had such a blast together, and that was about 8 months ago. So we thought, let's do it again. So we'd written a couple of songs, and we just recorded 2 more in the studio, and we're sort of slowly releasing them out there. And we thought, these songs are really good, man. And we work together really well. We have a lot of fun. And it's nice to get in the studio and just get away from the laptop and just play with another musician who is awake and aware. It's such a rarity to find another musician who's awake and aware and competent. You know, that's like gold dust to me. So we just had such a great time. And now we're like 4 songs in, and we're like, man, we you know, we're halfway to an album almost. Like
That's awesome.
Love it.
We better start thinking about a band name. And we're like, what the hell do we call ourselves? So I put it out on the internet, and we had so many good ideas, suggestions. And but everyone I looked up was taken. I was like, oh no,
oh no.
But what I think we might go with, which is a really good name, someone suggested to me the other day, and there is a band called this already, but they're such a tiny band, I don't think it will really make any difference. But we thought of calling ourselves the Shadow Band.
That's a little flat Earth thing there. I like that.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's a flat Earth thing. It's like being like, because we're doing the shadow work. We're talking about things that are very important, and they're very dark as well. You know, it's kind of in the shadows in a way. But being shadow band, which we all are.
Oh, beautiful! I didn't even put that in there. That's wonderful. Yes.
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, you got to go with that. That
so,
does
make
total sense.
We thought, well, maybe we'll go with that. But we're so far off from an album right now. But you know, that's keeping me busy. You know, editing the videos from when he was here, and then God knows what's going to happen after that. Maybe another solfeggio album. I don't know. It seems to me that I'm destined to do this work for the rest of my life, and I love it. And if I can work with conscious musicians who are, you know, like gold dust, I can't find it. You know, I have to fly someone in from Denmark just to be able to have some fun. Great. but no, I love it, and you know that I'm always sort of pushing the boundaries and trying to do a different style. I might do a rap song or something crazy like that. In fact, in one of the songs that I did with Steve, it includes a rap from me. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but the information is there. If you were
Yeah.
to analyze the lyrics, you'd be like, "Holy crap! They know their stuff," and this is interesting. And I want people to share it around, because
Yeah.
as we said, music is very powerful. So that's why I do what I do. But it's a pleasure working with him, and I can't wait to do more.
We can't wait for
That's
more,
awesome.
Alex. It's great. What else do you have planned for 2025? Any major things that you can give us a tease of right now? And
I
all
guess we'll
music.
see. I guess we'll, yeah. All music, yeah, and all music videos, of course. I mean, that's kind of what I do. But we'll have to see how 2025 goes. I mean, it looks like they're trying the whole virus thing again,
Mm,
which is
Yep.
fascinating. It'll be very interesting to see how the public react to that.
Hmm.
So there might be a song that comes out. It depends what this clown world pushes me to do lyrically. It's like, if I find something so ridiculous and so repulsive and so laughable, it's like this has to go into a song. So then I'll start to write something, and in a couple of months' time, you might see a video from that. But I'm just going with the flow. I don't really have an itinerary. I don't like this is what I'm going to do next month.
yeah.
It's just like let's
Hmm.
see what the world throws at me, and then we'll see what comes out musically. So I can't really answer that, because I don't
Yeah.
plan. It just kind of
That's
happens. I let the spirit guide me, man.
Yeah.
where can people follow you? That way, when the spirit guides you to whatever song it might be, they get notified.
Well, I mean, if the spirit guides them to conspiracymusicguru.com, that would be amazing. But
Yes,
yeah,
there you go.
my online handle is a bit long-winded, really. I wish I'd have chose a different name, but here we are. It's Conspiracy Music Guru. 3 words: Conspiracy Music Guru. And my website is definitely blacklisted. So if you was to type that into Google, you wouldn't find it. You have to actually put the URL into the browser, conspiracymusicguru.com. You'll find all my stuff.
Yeah.
It ranges from country music to reggae music to rock music to blues to acoustic, layback to healing frequency, kind of instrumental music. And I can't wait. I've got 6 albums under my belt now and 7 children's books, and I can't wait for more. Like, I hope to have another 6 albums, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to just be as prolific as possible, because it seems to be, I love contributing to this thing that I love so much. And
Mhm.
I want to be on my deathbed knowing that I tried to make this apartment a little tidier than when I found it.
Mhm.
Beautiful, Alex. I think
I
we
like it.
all in this sphere feel exactly the same way, that we just want to leave it better than what we found it, and we're doing what we can to inspire others to be similar minded in that goal. That's what we're trying to do, and I'm
It's a
very
long road.
thankful
It's a
that
long
you're.
road.
Oh, it certainly is, but we got to keep
Indeed.
walking it. We got to keep walking it and
I agree,
singing
bro.
it and dancing along the way. That's just what has to happen. And I'm very
Mhm.
appreciative that you're out there doing your thing from your corner of this crazy clown world, and doing it with some beautiful music and making us laugh too. That's very important. And I appreciate
Mhm.
you, Alex.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. I really appreciate the platform. Thanks, guys. It's been nice to catch up with you, man. Thanks for having me on.